So how do you think, and this is just quick, I haven't done any analysis on their investment,
Right.
I'm just looking at the holdings, and I ask, well, how do you guys feel you're invested?
Mhm.
And they're like, we don't want to, we told our broker we don't want to take a lot of risk, right? I said, and I would say, really? Because as I look at
Because
this,
he said that to me once.
right, that's pretty much all you're doing is taking a lot of risk.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned because you said to your broker you don't want to take a lot of risk, but your money is taking a lot of risk. So I'm just wondering why that's the case.
Welcome to today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Anchored in family values, Wayne offers practical advice to help you get the most out of your retirement years. For more information, visit today'sretirees.com. Now, here's your host.
And welcome to today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. If you were with us on our last program, we started talking about what you can expect when you go into Wayne and meet with his staff and Wayne on your first day, when you begin that relationship. And Wayne was telling us, if you aren't going through a questionnaire very similar to this with your financial planner, then you might have a little concern, Wayne, that they're not, I won't say, just some red flags.
Something might be overlooked or missed.
Mm-hmm.
And, the one-page questionnaire that I go over with everybody in the first meeting tells me a lot about where that person is or where that family is up to this point in their life. I ask them their names and what they like to be called, their nickname, their ages, were they married before? How is the family made up? Do they have kids with previous marriages? Is there a prenup involved? It's just so important to know that about a family. If it's now, most of my clients are original marriage. Yeah, still married after so many decades, right?
40, 50 years.
Kids,
Yeah.
grandkids. I mean, that's most of my practice is those types of people. But there's also a lot of mixed families. So they have to be handled a little different. I want to know their profession, what they did for a living. Are they retired? What companies did they work for? Proper email addresses. Are we emailing Mr. or Mrs.? Are we calling Mrs. cell phone, Mr. cell phone? I want to know their kids, names, ages, divorced, single, married, grandkids, ages, whose kids if it's previous,
Sure.
right? Well, we covered all this last show. And of course, if there's any special needs with any of the kids or grandkids, any disabilities, anything that we have to be concerned about when we're putting together an estate plan and figuring out who we're leaving money to.
Sure.
And that first half of this page covered all last show.
Right.
And when you looked at it, at the very first segment of our last show, you were like, wow, it's just a simple questionnaire. And, you said, oh, it's like a normal question. And you could see it's not.
Right.
Because, you have to dig into the family makeup and you got to know your client. And that is one of the rules with the anti-money laundering courses we have to, credits we have to go every year. We got to learn about anti-money laundering and other securities issues. And one of their big things is know your client. You should know your client. And this is a great way to start knowing your client, especially if they're new, if they haven't been working with you for years.
Well, that's one of the things that I like about what you're doing. Some folks think of a financial planner as more of a broker, but that's not what you do.
And a lot of brokers call themselves financial planners, and they're brokers.
Sure.
A lot of insurance agents say they do. What do you do? I'm a financial planner. Well, all you have is your insurance license, right? So, you should be working, if you're working with anybody, I prefer a certified financial planner, that's what I am, We have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients. We have to do what's in their best interest. And if you're working with someone that also manages money, securities for you, investments, 401ks, they should also be a fiduciary, right?
Okay.
Which means, I'm a registered investment advisor. I'm a fiduciary. I have to do what's in my client's best interest, right? By law.
Okay.
Other financial professionals don't have to do that.
Right.
Right? They got to do what's in their companies or their best interest, right? What commission pays the most,
the highest
right?
commission. I knew that's
Right.
right. Yeah.
So,
Right.
you have to make sure. So that's not what this show's about. But today,
Right.
we're talking about this basic first meeting questionnaire, what folks should expect when they come in to see me for a first meeting.
Sure. And all of this goes back to getting to know the family makeup, getting to know who and where and why and all of those kinds of things so that you can help folks.
In future meetings,
Right.
this is just, once we start putting a plan together for the person, all this, is going to be part of it. It helps us focus on certain things that there may be a red flag or a concern or
Sure.
a potential conflict or problem.
Right.
You want things to mesh and flow, not, contradict. Right.
And through the years, folks, we have talked about all kinds of crazy things that Wayne has seen and dealt with family-wise, mistakes that come back to haunt families later that can be avoided by going through this questionnaire, sitting down with Wayne, and doing it right.
Right, and even with the getting the names of their children, and if they're married, single, divorced, and ages and everything, I will ask them their relationship with their in-law. Right, if they have a son, how's the daughter-in-law? Right, how's their marriage? I get some pretty interesting answers sometimes.
I bet you do.
And that's a red flag. So we want to make sure the daughter-in-law doesn't wind up with all the money at some point in the future. We want to keep things in the family. That's a whole other part of estate planning. But it helps me learn early on the relationship with their kids
Sure.
and the in-laws, right?
Right.
Daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, that type of thing.
Absolutely. Well, friends, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about power of attorney. And you'll want to stick around for that. If you missed the other show, you can go to Wayne's website at todaysretirees.com, todaysretirees.com. And on that website, there will be a link to Wayne's YouTube channel, and you can go back and look at the previous episodes and clips of other shows. You'll find that very informative. You can also sign up for Wayne's free newsletter at todaysretirees.com. We'll be back right after this.
So we've all heard the word rollover when referring to an investment account at work or your 401k, your 403b, your 457 plan. What do you do with that when you've left your job and your 401k or other retirement plan is still at your old employer? Or what if you've retired? One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to leave your money, your retirement account, in your employer's 401k. Quite frankly, your old employer or current employer is the boss of your retirement account. So if you have questions about what to do with your rollover, you roll it to Wayne. Get it in your own hands where you have the whole universe of investments and choices, not just what your employer tells you can pick from. So contact my office for a free consultation on how to roll over your old retirement account. I'm Wayne Maslyk. I'm a certified financial planner and registered investment advisor, president of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. We do financial planning, retirement planning, and estate planning, but we also prepare your taxes. For $90, you get a CPA prepared tax return. Even if you have rentals or a small business, you're an independent contractor of some sort, and your financial advisor communicates with your CPA, you'll wind up paying less taxes over time. There won't be any mistakes because everyone's kept in the loop. But you have to be over the age of 62. You have to have a net worth of $250,000. See, that's my ideal client. So a good way to meet you is to get started by doing your taxes at a very discounted rate. Give the office a call, 419-626-3900, or our Lorain County office, 934-3141. Check us out on the web, todaysretirees.com. Just get a hold of us, set your time. We'll take care of your taxes this year for $90.
And welcome back to Today's Retirees with certified financial planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. You can get in touch with Wayne at 866-626-3990. And I wanted to say that right off the bat on this segment because you're talking about maybe potential clients, future clients coming in and what you do in that original first meeting when you talk with them.
Yeah, it's not only for people that are going to come see me, right, to give them kind of the heads up, what to expect. It's also for folks, maybe they're happy with their current person or have worked with planners in the past, but they should be aware of what should be asked in the first meeting. Okay, these things should be asked. If I was training a new person to come into, the financial planning industry and I had someone under my wing, I'd be telling them exactly what I'm telling all the listeners and viewers today and yourself. This should be done in the first meeting.
Sure. Now, when we left the last segment, we told folks that we're going to be talking about power of attorney and other
general legal documents.
Yeah,
which is...
and when I think of, the first one you have on here is a will. How many people, just curious, how many people come to you without that?
Not many.
Okay.
Yeah, but many come...
So there aren't like people like me.
Well, there are, but not many. Fortunately.
Wayne's been on to me for several years to finish this for us.
Right, you could, lead a horse to water, right? So, and all I want to do in the first meeting is see if they have a will and see if it's updated. Is it a recent will?
Okay.
That's it. And because of the very first, our last show, where the very first lines, I asked them if they had previous marriages, and I asked how long ago, and when did you guys get married, and is there a prenup, and all that stuff. Well, that goes down to here. Say, okay, do you have a will? Yeah. Well, how old is it? Well, 20 years old. Okay. Well, when did you marry your recent spouse? Well, 10 years ago. Okay, well, your will's 20 years old. You got married 10 years ago to a new person. So is all of your stuff going to your ex-spouse, right? So things like that are what I look for.
Sure.
Just see if there's any red flags. Power of attorney is the next on the line. Do you have a power of attorney for your health care? Do you have a power of attorney for your financial stuff? And I want to know how old it is and if there's depth, right? Is it, oh, yeah, my husband or my wife? Well, who's next in line? Any of your children or... So you want depth with power of attorney. Okay. I ask if they have a trust. How old is the trust? I ask if they have an umbrella liability policy. Right? Do they, the umbrella liability policy comes into play if you get sued for more than your auto owner's coverage or your homeowner's coverage.
Sure. Right?
You get in a bad accident and kill someone, your $100, $300 auto policy isn't going to cover what they're going to sue you for.
Sure.
So if you have any type of assets, you should consider that. I asked if there's long-term care. Do they have any long-term care plans in place? Go to a nursing home or need home care? Are they veteran? Are they wartime vet where they may get some benefits, from the government if they ever need nursing home care? Right. And I asked for a living will, right? Do they have a health care directive? Do they want to be kept alive? Do they want the plug pulled? All that stuff. Again, we're only... 3/4 of the way down this basic questionnaire that is very thorough with finding out how the family's made up and what they've done up to this point. So if they have an old will, I know there's a red flag. Why is your will old? Right? You have you don't have a trust? Well, you might want a trust, right? I mean, they have assets. They have a lot of assets, multiple kids, and maybe they should consider a trust, right? But this is, again, I'm just finding out about them. Right. And in this same section, I asked if they have any life insurance. Does the husband have life insurance? Does the wife have life insurance? How much, roughly? What type of life insurance? Is it term? Is it whole life? Is it universal life? Is it variable life? Or is it just group insurance tied to their employer? A lot of people, I have $150,000, and it's your insurance. Yeah, what company? It's John Hancock, MetLife, or it's through my work. So that's a red flag right there. They get laid off or leave jobs, they have no more life insurance.
Sure.
So and they may not need it, but it's good to know that if they do need it, it's gone when they leave their employer. So they may want to address that at some point. Very important segment of just this first page.
Sure. And, as we have gone through these, we've gone through segments about these kinds of things. When you deal with this, there's all kinds of problems that can arise if you don't have these set up correctly.
Yeah, especially again with the life insurance, beneficiaries are a big issue. Again, we asked if they were married before all that, right? So when was the last time their beneficiaries were updated?
Right.
Are all their kids, listed? Or if they have grandkids listed, is the new grandchild listed?
Sure.
Right. It's all important stuff. And with cash value life insurance, you want to make sure it's funded properly. A lot of these old cash value, old universal life type policies, they're getting eaten up because there's not enough money in it to cover the insurance costs. So this insurance they've been paying on their whole life is going to go away, right before they're about mortality age, right? They're 75. Their insurance company is saying you got to put all kinds of money in here or your policy is going to lapse, and your 75-year-old guy is not getting any more new insurance.
Right.
So you don't want to let that happen, and that's something that I manage and keep an eye on of my clients who have life insurance.
Right.
Part of a financial planner's job is exactly what I'm going through, telling you right now.
Well, friends, this is one of the things that Wayne does. He sits down with you. He helps you put together a plan. My experience with Wayne is he's not trying to sell you something, like a broker would. He's helping you put together a plan for your family so that your family, upon my being deceased or someone else, they are covered. They are protected. And also, we can have a comfortable retirement. That's what Wayne does. Pick up that phone at 866-626-3990. 866-626-3990. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Wayne Maslyk. I'm a certified financial planner and registered investment advisor, president of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. We do financial planning, retirement planning, and estate planning, but we also prepare your taxes. For $90, you get a CPA prepared tax return. Even if you have rentals or a small business, you're an independent contractor of some sort, and your financial advisor communicates with your CPA, you'll wind up paying less taxes over time. There won't be any mistakes because everyone's kept in the loop. But you have to be over the age of 62. You have to have a net worth of $250,000. See, that's my ideal client. So a good way to meet you is to get started by doing your taxes at a very discounted rate. Give the office a call, 419-626-3900, or our Lorain County office, 440-934-3141. Check us out on the web, todaysretirees.com. Just get a hold of us, set your time. We'll take care of your taxes this year for $90. So we've all heard the word rollover when referring to an investment account at work or your 401k, your 403b, your 457 plan. What do you do with that when you've left your job and your 401k or other retirement plan is still at your old employer? Or what if you've retired? One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to leave your money, your retirement account, in your employer's 401k. Quite frankly, your old employer or current employer is the boss of your retirement account. So if you have questions about what to do with your rollover, you roll it to Wayne. Get it in your own hands where you have the whole universe of investments and choices, not just what your employer tells you can pick from. So contact my office for a free consultation on how to roll over your old retirement account.
Welcome back to Today's Retirees with certified financial planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Over the last couple of segments and the last show, we have been talking about what I call the basic questionnaire. Now, I have learned in the last several segments that it's far from basic. When you look at it, it looks pretty basic.
Right.
Who are you and what are your family makeup? But that's really critical in order for you to help folks.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly the follow-up questions from me that matter the most when going through this. This is, an outline for me just so I don't miss anything.
Sure.
And, I kind of build off of this to ask all the real important stuff. But yeah, it's far from basic, and it's a must for a good base to start a financial and retirement plan.
And these are things, if your financial planner or the person that you're dealing with, you haven't gone through something very similar to this, you should
flag.
You should be careful.
Your financial planner shouldn't. Everything we've talked about these last 2 shows, your financial planner should know about you. If they didn't ask you about it or don't know about it, I'm sure they're missing something. There's something that you might be making a mistake on. And it's always good to get a second opinion, from somebody like myself, a certified financial planner, just to make sure even if you like your current person, keep them in check, right? What was that old Ronald Reagan saying he had? Remember that?
Oh, he said
trust but verify. Right.
When he was talking about the Soviet Union.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's true. You trust your person, but nothing wrong with a second opinion.
Right.
Even a car dealer. You go buy a car, you go, hey, I buy this from this guy all the time. He treats me right. Okay, we'll get his best price, and then every now and then check it out.
Right.
Make sure it is. Right?
Exactly. No, it's absolutely critical. And if your financial planner hasn't done this, I wouldn't recommend calling him up and, say, why didn't you do that? What I would do is I would pick up the phone and dial that number, 866-626-3990, and make an appointment and sit down with Wayne and see why he goes through all this, so that you, like you say, have a second opinion. Now, the next segment that you have on this is your assets and liabilities. You want to know what I own or what your client owns and what he owes.
Yeah. And for the first meeting, just generalities.
Okay.
Again, we're 2 shows into this basic sheet, and we're just getting to the asset and liability makeup.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes people, the first meeting, they'll come in and they'll hand me all their statements, like very beginning.
Yeah.
And it's just, I got to give it back to them, say, we're not there yet, right?
Yeah.
I don't even need statements at this point.
Sure.
But I do want, once we get to this part of the questionnaire, I want to know their general financial makeup. Checking balances, savings balances, 401k balances, any brokerage account balances, any annuity balances, anything like that. Just rough balances. What kind of assets are they? Are they qualified? IRAs or non-IRAs,
okay.
401ks, 403bs, 457s, whatever. And I'd like to know who the beneficiaries are, if they know, right? Are they the spouse, each other, or their kids, grandkids, whatever? Have the beneficiaries been updated? And I want to see what they're invested in. Is all their money in the market? Is it all in stocks?
Sure.
Is it all risky? Is it all in his CDs, paying 0.75%? Right. Right. Is it all in the market? Is it all in CDs? Do they have any safe money? Is all their money at risk? I just want to get how have these people been investing, right? And I asked them, so how do you think, and this is just quick, I haven't done any analysis on their investment, I'm just looking at the holdings, and I ask, well, how do you guys feel you're invested? And they're like, we don't want to, we told our broker we don't want to take a lot of risk, right? And I said, and I'll say, really? Because as I look at this...
Because he said that to me once.
Right. That's pretty much all you're doing is taking a lot of risk.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned because you said to your broker you don't want to take a lot of risk, but your money is taking a lot of risk. So I'm just wondering why that's the case. And it's just another red flag. Don't get into it too much first meeting. That's a red flag. They don't think they're risky people, but yet they're taking a lot of risk.
Right.
In this same section where I asked them of their assets and liabilities, I asked them if anyone owes them any money. Right? They loaned a buddy 10 grand or 50 grand, or they gave a son-in-law 50 grand to start a business, whatever.
Okay.
Or more, or whatever. That's important. I mean, why do you think that's important?
Well,
I know if they owe people money, or if someone owes them money.
Well, you want to know, that's part of I would think that's part of the assets, but more importantly, I think if that is owed to them and it becomes an estate kind of thing,
right?
Where does this money go and how do you get it?
How do you get it? So if someone owes them money, I say, okay, do you have an agreement in writing, drawn up by an attorney? Right?
Sure.
If you let your son-in-law have 50 grand or your daughter, right, to build a new house or to start a business, who owes you the money? What if your daughter gets divorced, right? Is your son-in-law going to be liable for half of that 50 or all of it?
Sure.
Or vice versa. So simple question. A lot of people help kids out or friends with money, and it should be asked, to people if someone owes them money. And then if they do, it should be addressed in the future estate plan when they ultimately go to their attorney and update their legal documents and such.
Absolutely. Well, all of this is very important. And friends, if your financial planner hasn't gone through something like this, and we're not done, we still have more to go on this list, which we will address in the next program, because we are almost out of time.
Yeah. And by the way, this sheet, I'm explaining this sheet as we go. This happens in the first meeting, and the first meeting rarely goes longer than an hour.
Okay.
Just literally, and we don't get to this right in the beginning of the meeting. So less than an hour's time, I get all this info.
So this is why it's important for you to take the time to go to that website, todaysretirees.com. You can sign up for a newsletter, you can register and come in and see Wayne, or you can pick up the phone at 866-626-3990. We'll see you the next time.
I'm Wayne Maslyk. I'm a certified financial planner and registered investment advisor, president of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. We do financial planning, retirement planning, and estate planning, but we also prepare your taxes. For $90, you get a CPA prepared tax return. Even if you have rentals or a small business, you're an independent contractor of some sort, and your financial advisor communicates with your CPA, you'll wind up paying less taxes over time. There won't be any mistakes because everyone's kept in the loop. But you have to be over the age of 62. You have to have a net worth of $250,000. See, that's my ideal client. So a good way to meet you is to get started by doing your taxes at a very discounted rate. Give the office a call, 419-626-3900, or our Lorain County office, 440-934-3141. Check us out on the web, todaysretirees.com. Just get a hold of us, set your time. We'll take care of your taxes this year for $90.
Thanks for tuning in to Today's Retirees with certified financial planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. Visit todaysretirees.com or call 866-626-3990 to schedule a no-cost appointment with Wayne. Today's Retirees is brought to you by Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management, family-focused retirement and tax planning services, anchored in family values. Information and opinions discussed on Today's Retirees do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this station. Opinions expressed should not be substituted for individualized consultation with a qualified financial advisor. For specific information, call 866-626-3990 or visit todaysretirees.com.